Hey there folks, niXcraft here. Welcome on back to episode 32 of Surviving with niXcraft. We are here in the Mega Taiga house, and as you can see behind me, our map wall has got some new additions. I went streaming just the other day and started exploring around that area, hoping to find some new stuff. And new stuff we definitely found. We got all sorts of biomes in there, as you can see, but in my inventory here, also found some moss blocks and a shipwreck, got ourselves an axolotl, which is fantastic. Found ourselves a geode as well and got some amethyst shards here to make a spyglass, which is super cool. And we also found some bees, which I think is going to be the main subject of today's episode. We need to make a honeycomb farm so we could start waxing over our oxidized copper and start building with those copper blocks. So that's going to be the plan for today. So the plan as far as location, I think we're going to put the bee farm just over here on this side, over the hill. We'll make a little pathway or a staircase of some sorts to get over there. And I think we'll also build a little stable for our guy over here. He's just been tied up on this fence pretty much the entire series. So let's get him a little area to hang out as well. So, but as far as this river right here, I think I'm going to tackle this soon on stream and just terraform it like the cliff sides we were doing. Over where our farmer villagers are that way, and that should be very fun because also on stream I found some sea pickles in a warm ocean, so that'd be nice to light up this river area. We wouldn't have any more drowns spawning, which is ideal, but let's head over there and start clearing this stuff out. So as I clear this area out and try and turn everything over into grass, I'm coming over here, put down a campfire just so we could start harvesting some of these honeycombs here that the bees will produce. So if we just place this right on top of the campfire, that should be perfect. And we'll set up a little something so that the bees don't get hurt or anything by this campfire. We'll put some trapdoors around like this. And I don't really like it just kind of floating like that. So I think I'm going to attach some fences to it, kind of like this. There we go. That looks pretty cool. So hopefully some bees will come out at some point. I have some dandelions here just to kind of sprinkle around, and here we go. We got ourselves a bee friend, 2 bee friends, 3 bee friends. Hey guys. Alright, so maybe we should start breeding these guys up too. We'll just do 1 of them, and then we'll have 4 bees. Perfect. Now I'm going to place the rest of these flowers. There we go, and do we have a little baby? There he is, so cute. We have this area nice and cleared out now with some grass spreading through it. My plan is to have the bee farm facing this way, sort of out towards the water. Got a good view of everything from this angle. And we'll also have our little stable for our horse, I think back in here, with a nice little path leading through a garden with some crops and stuff. It should look really nice. But in the meantime, we have some honey to harvest over here. So if I come up to this thing and shear it, we should be all good. Can't do it while I'm crouching though. And there we go, we have 3 honeycombs. And you could use 2 of these guys to craft up the beehives. So the more bees that we breed, we'll be able to put them in their hives inside a little building here so they can't escape anywhere. And we could automatically harvest some of this honeycomb. Went and gathered up some blocks that we're going to possibly use. I may add a few more things, but this is just the base. And I have some new blocks here that I want to use as well, but we should probably lay out how exactly I want to do this, starting with the system. We have everything but the beehives. I just need 1 more harvest. Oh, look at that, we're ready to harvest already. So I'll make the beehives up, but let's lay out where we think we want to put these. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. And these will be where the beehives sit. So basically, let's make believe that the tuff is the beehive, and then right on top of it we need an observer. So that's how high the system is going to go. And it's going to go 1 block back as well because we need a dispenser facing into the beehive to harvest it, full of shears, kind of like a sheep farm. But that is the general layout. Should probably give ourselves 1 block of space right there as well. And probably 1 more on the other side. So this will really help us out when we're building the shape of the build that goes around the bees, because we don't want them escaping. But let's go to sleep and harvest up honeycomb. For this build, I tried drafting something in creative before I got started with it, and I really couldn't come up with anything, so I decided it's going to be best to just sort of freestyle the build today and use some 117 blocks and see what comes of it. Sometimes if you have a little block like that, that's the best thing to do, is just get things out. Like if you were writing or something, just get it on paper and almost like a rough draft in a way, and we could always just tweak it along the way as we go. And I'm deciding now, I think I'm going to strip these just to get a smooth texture in there. Yeah, that'll look nice. And my idea is to sort of pop it out like this and then go up with the bricks, and then we could possibly use some deep slate on the roof. Not too sure yet, we're just kind of going with the flow here. Bit of a jump ahead now. We had that cobblestone, tuff, and deep slate sort of as a foundation, and now we moved up into these regular spruce pillars that go 5 blocks tall, and I thought it'd be cool to add as much windows as I can, sort of like a greenhouse effect on the roof here, or on the windows, and maybe on the roof too. That's where I was going with that. But think for the rest of the build, filling in blocks where windows aren't going to be. We're going to use some bricks and a little bit of mixture of granite in there as well, and I think that'll turn out pretty good. It's not a build palette we've used yet. We've used some brick for chimneys and stuff like that, but I think this will turn out nice. So let's get this in a little bit. I'll bring you guys back in when we're starting to look like a full build here. Good progress has been made on the build, and as we take a look with our spyglass here, we could see some of the details. I really like how it came out. I kind of want to move those windows back just to put them right where they should be, because you could see the connected texture right there on the other side. And from what it looks like, we are ready to harvest some more honeycomb, but this thing is looking cool. For the roof, I'm thinking about using some of this deep slate as the trim, and then we can come in with maybe some spruce planks as the actual roof block itself. But let's finish that up so we can get going on this automatic honeycomb system. Got our deep slate roof line in now, and I think I'm going to take this moss block here, just a quick little sidetrack, and a little bone meal. We're going to fly off somewhere just a little farther away, and I want to harvest up some of the stuff that this moss gives you. Maybe this field right here. So if I come over and place this block down like this and bone meal it, we should get some more moss blocks surrounding it. What I'm really looking for is some azaleas, and I'm kind of upset that it didn't spawn any just then. There's one, and we could also get one in a flowering variant, which is really what I'm looking for here. So let's just keep bone mealing. We'll harvest this up. There we go. So these will spawn oak trees, but not just oak trees at all. They'll be azalea trees. And their leaves are a little bit different, including some flowered leaves, which is really what I'm going to be looking for. I think we're going to use that in some terraforming today for the garden outside of the beehive. So let me harvest up a few of these here and grow the trees so we can get the leaves down, and then we'll head back to that bee farm. Now when you grow an azalea tree, you'll also get this rooted dirt underneath of it. It's just going to be sort of like a lighter dirt block, and I think that'll mix in well with some coarse dirt. But here's some of the flowered leaves, and I just think they look great. So I'm pretty sure I'm almost dead on these shears, but we got a good amount here. I'm going to harvest up as much as we can. Alright guys, the shell of the build is just about done, and my favorite part I think is this side here. We incorporated some of the honeycomb blocks, and there's also raw gold blocks in there. I think that combination together just looked really good. Repeated it on the other side over here, and we are just about ready to head inside and start working on this mechanism here. So these blocks right here are going to go away. They're just temporary. I'm thinking we're going to replace it with some oak. Oak is in, and we could place the droppers down on the blocks just behind here, so they are facing us like that, and then we'll put the beehives just in front of them like so. The droppers, or dispensers I mean, will be full of shears, so we brought along a bunch of iron so we can make those. Now we got to get on top here and place some observers. To get them facing down, we're just going to jump up and place them down like this, and go along the row. Just as long as the face is down towards the beehive, it should be good. Then we need some blocks behind here on top of the dispensers, and then we cover it in redstone, and that should be everything. And hopefully I could cover up this redstone in a somewhat pleasing way. It would be kind of weird to have the observers just exposed like that. But then we're going to need to get a hopper minecart system going through here. So that is the plan next. Dug ourselves out a small space underneath the farm here just to lay down some tracks, and I think we got to start with a powered rail just so it bounces off the walls right here. Just place a torch down beneath it, and we're going with some stone bricks for our rails. Gonna have to get rid of that torch, but we'll start with a powered like that, and then just kind of right in the middle of this, somewhere like right here, Yeah, right here will be the middle, and we'll place another powered rail. So we'll have consistent power all the way through, and then we'll pop out over here and do a little unloading system. The chest will be in the back, so you can't really see it from the view of the bridge over there. So that's the plan. Alright guys, we got our rail system built up now, just harvesting up a little bit more honeycomb here. And I built another one of those little shacks, kind of like we did over at the bamboo farm over there, just to hide the little redstone circuit that makes the cart stop here at the chest. There's nothing in it quite yet because we haven't set up the bees in there, but before I do that, I need to spread some flowers around in this area so that the bees can pollinate and get back into their hives and produce some honeycomb for us. So I have a whole bunch of flowers on me, and behind these trapdoors is some coarse dirt. I was planning on planting all sorts of flowers in the windows so you could see, and some potted flowers right there too. Some on the ground, so they'll have plenty of flowers to work with. And this farm will be done. We could start working on the outside. I want to do like a nice little pathway with like a garden. And I talked about having the stables in this episode, but I don't think we're going to have time for it. Maybe we will, we'll see. So let's get started on making this area look beautiful. Alright guys, the inside of the bee farm is now done. We can run in and check it out. And as you can see already, there's a ton of flowers in here, just a ton. There's some up there by the windows and all over the ground here. Now all I basically have to do, so as you can see in my hotbar there, I have some dandelions and some leads. I'm going to breed up these bees, bring the babies into the hives in there, and then make them, kind of force them to grow up by feeding them flowers. And then that is how we will fill the farm, and hopefully it will get going. We have our minecart going back and forth. It's running down there right now, so we should be good to go. I'm going to spend some time getting some bees in this farm. As you can see here, guys, we have been busy bees. Pun definitely intended there. We have a lot of bees in here now. I've been breeding them up with the dandelions, then just kind of harvest them up at the flower farm. Let's see if we can get just one more here. And there we go. There's our little baby. Takes about 10 flowers to grow them up into full adults. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? There we go. Oh my god. Well, it was 10 before. But either way, now we have a lot of bees flying around, pollinating the flowers, getting into their hives. And if we head outside just for a second, I think we have some honeycomb in the chest. Oh my. Yeah, we have a lot of honeycomb in the chest. So that is working perfectly. I'm going to breed up a few more of these guys, and then we could start working on this outdoor area, getting a pathway hooked up and making this very, very nice. And it's going to be great, guys. I can't wait. While this thing keeps running, I went and gathered up some blocks we're going to use for the outside. And I got them in our shulker boxes here. As you can see in this one, it is full of campfires. I kind of want to use that as sort of a awning for the walkway up to the bee farm. And just kind of have some of those flowered leaves hanging off the edge of it. I think that'll look really, really cool. Got some general stuff to make paths, a little bit of this rooted dirt I'd like to mix in. And I think it will be good. So I think I want to start over here just by changing a lot of this into grass instead of the podzol. And we will work the path right there coming up here into like a little staircase or something. And I think I want to change it over to some path blocks and coarse dirt instead of the normal stone path, just to make it feel more alive and natural. And we'll have a lot of life around here, crops and leaves and bushes and stuff. It should be really nice, but I think I have some extra grass over in the Mega Taiga house here. Got a nice path going here, guys, and I just started laying down a few of these regular azalea leaves without the flowers, and I just love this green. It contrasts a lot with the spruce, but I think in a very good way. If I'm going to pop some lanterns down and bone meal the grass around it and stuff, this is going to look super cool, especially with the little awning that we have planned over for the path up to the build itself. So let me just spray a few of these leaves around and stuff and actually get some nice life going. And then I can bring you in with my awning plan for the bee garden. Looks like I spy a wandering trader over there in the distance. So let's go see if he has any cool 1.17 stuff. Hopefully he's got some small drip leaf. That would be really cool to add to this area. Let's see what he's working with. Nothing. Looks like he's got some leads for me then. Just put the finishing touches on our path here with some lanterns and bone meal. Usually I get rid of the flowers when I bone meal things, but I figured since this is going to be a bee garden, we could leave the flowers in there for now. And we have also a path here going out to the door, and also one over to our manual harvest system over there. So we could start up with this little awning I was talking about, some spruce fences here, probably going up, what, 3 high? I nailed that, so we'll go 3 high and start another one over here. Maybe it'll turn in a little bit and go right here, 1, 2, 3, and right there. And we could start creating this with some campfires. Now, if you extinguish a campfire, the little texture that's on it kind of looks like some logs laid out, almost like a log cabin. But I think that'd be cool as a little topper for this awning here. Probably stop it about right here, just in front of the door. And that should be perfect. Make sure we have 3 blocks of space in between. And with some leaves draping from the side of this is going to be super cool. Let's see if I can get this in. Just now realizing how expensive this is going to be. This was already a full shulker box of campfires right here. And we can extinguish them with the shovel, just left clicking with that, just like you were making a path. And these look super cool. I really like it. But I have to finish this up. And it's going to be at least a shulker box and a half worth of campfires again. But we are going to waste a few, because if I come in here with, oh, I don't have any of the leaves on me, but if I grab up some of these azalea leaves, my plan is to, in some of these areas, like, let's try this one, we will break out the campfire, and we won't get it back, unfortunately, because we don't have silk touch, and we could just lay some leaves in there to make it look a little bit more overgrown. And I think that is the plan, so I'm going to have to gather up some more campfires, I guess. Alright guys, all the campfires are now in and looking very good. Just starting to drape some leaves down into the actual path itself underneath the little awning, just to make it seem more overgrown. And we definitely have some campfires to spare in here, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll use them again because I really, really love this design. I think it's awesome. So now we can start working on the area around it. Same thing we were doing for the path. A little bit of bushes around because we already have a lot of leaves going with this stuff. So just a few of those. And laying out some crops and flowers and stuff in a little field. Maybe a small pond as well. And we are just about done. Maybe throw a custom tree in there and we can call this a finished build. And I am just in love with it, guys. So we are back, guys, and ready to show off the new build. And I've been here for just about a couple hours decorating the outside of this, and I just love it. So here we go. Here's the finished bee farm, the bee gardens, and I just love it. The awning that we built is great, and just to the side of it, I added a little pond here with some crops around it, just to add some life to the area. Still have to get a lily pad in there to finish it up. But I used some of the rooted dirt too, mixed in here with the coarse dirt, which I think is just a great new block in the game. And here is the chest after just a couple hours of terraforming the outside. We have a lot of honeycomb, guys. I didn't use that much of the honeycomb that we farmed from this. That's pretty much all from this farm, just a couple hours over here. So that's just great. If we come up this path here, we'll see our custom tree on the side, which is one of my favorites I've ever done, not just because of the flowering azalea. I figured I'd add that for this area, but it's just a great looking tree. And then we have the path up to our original bee farm with the original bees. I supplied all the bees for this one. And of course, we could take a stop inside too to check everything out. Not much has changed. One thing I will mention, I don't know if we see any now, but sometimes some honeycomb gets thrown on top of the observers, which is kind of strange, but most of it gets collected out here, so I'm not too worried about that. And it looks like we do have some that the minecart missed. Gets thrown pretty far out here, but that's okay. We'll just come in here sometimes and just throw it down in the track like that. There we go. But other than that, the efficiency of this farm is about where I want it, so I'm not really going to make too many changes to it.